Beach volleyball is a team sport played by two teams of 2 players on a sand court divided by a net. It has been an Olympic discipline since the 1996 Games. As in indoor volleyball, the object of the game is to send the ball over the net and to ground it on the opponent's court, and to prevent the same effort by the opponent. A team is allowed up to 3 touches to return the ball across the net. The ball is put in play with a serve, a hit by the server from behind the rear court boundary over the net to the opponents. The rally continues until the ball is grounded on the playing court, goes out, or is not returned properly. The team winning a rally scores a point and serves to start the following rally. The 4 players serve in the same sequence throughout the match, changing server each time a rally is won by the receiving team. Beach volleyball originated at the Outrigger Canoe Club on the shores of Waikiki Beach, and has achieved worldwide popularity. History. The true birth of beach volleyball apparently began on the beaches of Waikiki Beach in Hawaii, at the Outrigger Canoe Club in 1915. For the moment that this first recorded game in Hawaii took place, this outdoor game of volleyball has continued to be played and known as beach volleyball, rather than just volleyball. The Outrigger Canoe Club was founded in 1908 by a small group of Honolulu's business and professional community. The club's original mission was to help perpetuate traditional Hawaiian sports. They began so that they could make sure the native and small boy could doff the duds and mount the surfboards at will. As they enjoyed the waves of Waikiki, it became a place where man could commune with the sun, the sand and the sea, along with good fellowship and the aloha spirit. The club's story mirrors that of Waikiki and Hawaii. The 1908 clubhouse was 2 grass houses purchased from a defunct zoo. The grass houses were moved to leased land on the beach, next to a lagoon. One was fitted out as a shed for canoes and surfboards. The other shed became the club's first bathhouse and dressing room. Both had spacious lanai. A sand floor pavilion was built a short time later, and it became a popular gathering place for members. A new clubhouse was eventually built in 1941 on the same grounds. Then in 1964, when the Waikiki lease was lost, the club moved to its present Diamond Head location. The Outrigger Beach and Canoe Club's historical committee has produced written accounts confirming that beach volleyball started there in early 1915. The written account is from an oral history interview that is dated June 9, 1978. The interviewer, Kenneth Pratt, interviewed Ronald Higgins, an original Outrigger Canoe Club member. Mr. Higgins recollects club member George David Dad Santa going out and buying a couple of volleyballs and a volleyball net, sometime at the start of 1915. Then, Dad, along with other members, temporarily put the net up in the sandy beach area parallel to the tide line, between the surfboard lockers and the canoe shed. This is where the first recorded game of beach volleyball took place. This moment in volleyball is historic, because the games at the Outrigger Club appropriately represent the legitimate birth of the game of beach volleyball. In 1920, new jetties in Santa Monica, California created a large sandy area for public enjoyment, planting the seed for beach volleyball development in that region. The first permanent nets began to appear, and people soon began playing recreational games on public parts of the beach and in private beach clubs. 11 such beach clubs appeared in the Santa Monica area, beginning in late 1922. The first interclub competitions were staged in 1924. Most of these early beach volleyball matches were played with teams of at least 6 players per side, much like indoor volleyball. The concept of the modern two-man beach volleyball game is credited to Paul Pablo Johnson, an indoor player of Santa Monica Athletic Club. In the summer of 1930, while waiting for players to show up for a 6-man game, Johnson decided to try playing with only the 2 people present. The game was forever changed. Though recreational games continue to be played with more players, the most widely played version of the game, and the only one contested at an elite level, has only 2 players per team. Beach volleyball began to appear in Europe in the 1930s. By the 1940s, doubles tournaments were being played on the beaches of Santa Monica for trophies. In 1948, the first tournament to offer a prize was held in Los Angeles, California. It awarded the best teams with a case of Pepsi, supplied by Dr. Caleb Moorhazer, often noted as one of the most enthusiastic patrons of early beach volleyball. In the 1960s, an attempt to start a professional volleyball league was made in Santa Monica. It failed, but a professional tournament was held in France for 30,000 French francs. The first Manhattan Beach Open was held in 1960, a tournament which grew in prestige to become, in the eyes of some, the Wimbledon of beach volleyball. In the meanwhile, beach volleyball gained big popularity. In the 1960s, the Beatles tried playing in Los Angeles, and even U.S. President John F. Kennedy was seen attending a match. In 1974, there was an indoor tournament, the $1,500 World Indoor Two-Man Volleyball Championship, played in front of 4,000 volleyball enthusiasts at the San Diego Sports Arena. Fred Zuelich teamed with Dennis Hare to defeat Ron Von Hagen and Matt Gage in the championship match. Winston Cigarettes was the sponsor. Dennis Hare went on to write the first book on the subject of beach volleyball, The Art of Beach Volleyball. The first professional beach volleyball tournament was the Olympia World Championship of Beach Volleyball, staged on Labor Day weekend, 1976, at Will Rogers State Beach in Pacific Palisades, California. The event was organized by David Wilk of Volleyball Magazine, based in Santa Barbara. The winners, the first world champions, were Greg Lee and Jim Menches. They split $2,500 out of a total prize purse of $5,000. Volleyball Magazine staged the event the next year at the same location, this time sponsored by Schlitz Light Beer. In 1978, Wilk formed a sports promotion company named Event Concepts with Craig Masuoka and moved the World Championship of Beach Volleyball to Redondo Beach. Jose Cuervo Tequila signed on as sponsor and the prize purse. The event was successful and Cuervo funded an expansion the next year to 3 events. The California Pro Beach Tour debuted with events in Laguna Beach, Santa Barbara and the World Championship in Redondo. In following years, the tour expanded nationally and was renamed the Pro Beach Volleyball Tour. It consisted of 5 events in California and tournaments in Florida, Colorado, and Chicago. Top players included Karch Kiraly, Randy Stoklos, Singen Smith, Andy Fishburne, and Steve Obradovich. By 1984, the Pro Beach consisted of 16 events around the country and had a total prize purse of $300,000. At the end of the year, however, Event Concepts was forced out of the sport by a players' strike at the World Championship, and the Association of Volleyball Professionals was founded. At the professional level, the sport remained fairly obscure until the 1980s, when beach volleyball experienced a surge in popularity with high-profile players such as Sinjin Smith, Randy Stoklos, and Karch Kiraly. Kiraly won an Olympic gold medal in beach volleyball in its first Olympic appearance in 1996, adding that to the 2 Olympic golds he won as part of the USA men's indoor team, and has won 142 titles. In 1987, the FIVB created the first World Beach Volleyball Championships, played in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, won by Sinjin Smith and Randy Stoklos. The FIVB began organizing worldwide professional tournaments, and laid the groundwork for the sport's Olympic debut in 1996. Despite its increased popularity in the 1980s and 1990s, American beach volleyball suffered setbacks. In early 1998, the American Women's Professional Tour, the WPVA, closed its doors and filed for bankruptcy. Later that same year, the American Professional Men's Tour, the AVP, also filed for bankruptcy, plagued by problems as a player-run organization. In 2001, the AVP re-emerged as a for-profit, publicly traded company that combined the men's and women's professional tours, with equal prize money for both sexes. In 2010, the AVP shut its doors once again and filed bankruptcy. Beach volleyball has become a global sport with international competition organized by the FIVB. Brazil and the USA are dominant, with 20 of the 30 Olympic medals awarded to date between them, and 16 of the 20 gold and silver medals. But the sport's popularity has spread to the rest of the world as well. Rules and gameplay. Rule differences between beach and indoor. Beach volleyball is fundamentally similar to indoor volleyball. A team scores points by grounding the ball on the opponent's court, or when the opposing team commits a fault. Consecutive contacts must be made by different players. The major differences between beach and indoor volleyball are: playing surface, sand rather than hard court. Bare feet are allowed for the players. Dimensions: each half of the court is 8 meters square, compared to 9 meters in the indoor game. The beach court has no attack line, unlike the indoor court, which has such a line 3 meters from the net. Team size: 2 rather than 6, with no substitutions allowed. Scoring system: best of 3 sets played to 21 rather than best of 5 to 25. Open hand touches, tips, and dinks are illegal. A block at the net counts as one of the 3 allowed touches in the beach game, but not in the indoor game. Open hand setting standards are different in the beach game. Double hitting is called tighter, but lifts are slightly more lenient. Coaching during matches is not allowed. There are no rotation errors on the beach. Players may switch sides at will. It is legal to cross under the net in beach volleyball, as long as it does not interfere with opponents' play. Teams switch ends of the court every 7 points rather than between sets. There is no libero in beach like there is in indoor. In both indoor and beach versions, the height of the top of the net is 2.43 meters for men and 2.24 meters for women. Skills: there are several basic skills competitive players need to master: serving, passing, setting, attacking, blocking, and digging. Serving is the act of putting the ball into play by striking it with the hand or arm from behind the rear court boundary. Serving can take the form of an underhand serve, overhand serve, or a jump serve. The underhand and overhand serves are similar on the beach and indoors, with the exception that on the beach the wind often has a significant effect on the trajectory of the ball. Although the serve can be used as an offensive weapon, most rallies are won by the receiving team, as they have the first attack opportunity. The pass is the first of a team's 3 allowed contacts, and is also very similar on the beach and indoors. However, the standards for hand setting are stricter on the beach. In practice, this means that players are effectively forbidden from setting the ball on serve-receive. Similarly, players seldom use a hand setting motion as the first to last of the 3 allowed team contacts. Digging is a similar skill to passing, but the term is not used to describe receiving the serve or a free ball, but rather refers to an attempt to prevent an opponent's attack hit from touching the court. The set is the second team contact, and its purpose is to position the ball for an attack on the third hit. A hand setting motion is often used, but bump setting, an underhand motion in which the ball bounces off the forearms, is also common. When using the hand motion contact for the setting, the player's hands must contact the ball simultaneously. If a referee determines that a double hit has occurred, the point will be given to the other team. Excessive spin after a ball has been set is often used as an indicator of a double contact fault, but causing a ball to spin while setting is not explicitly prohibited. After completing the contact, the setter typically turns his attention to the defense and communicates to his partner whether a blocker is up and which area of the court is open. The second contact can also be used to attack the ball. Attacking includes skills such as spiking, hitting the ball hard with one open hand on a downward trajectory from above the top of the net, rolling a similar motion to spiking, but softer and with an arcing trajectory, and dinking, directing the ball very softly low over the net. Attack hits are also frequently made with a poking motion with the knuckles or stiff straight fingers. Blocking is an attempt to direct an attack hit by the opponent's back into the court by reaching above the top of the net. Players often decide against blocking and instead opt to peel off the net and dig. This peeling action is a skill almost exclusive to beach volleyball participants. A team is composed exclusively of 2 players, who must always be in play and who cannot be subjected to any substitutions or replacement. At the moment the ball is hit by the server, each team must be within its own court, but there are no determined positions on the court, such that no positional faults can be committed. The 2 players can switch at any point of the game. There is no set position that you must stay in like indoor. Scoring system. The first to win 2 sets wins the match. A set is won by the first team to reach 21 points with a 2-point advantage. Thus, if the score is 21-20, the set continues. Whenever a team fails to execute a legal service or to return the ball, or commits any other fault, the opposing team wins the rally, scores a point, and serves to start the following rally. Teams switch ends of the court after every 7 points and 5 points played. When the total points are 21, there is a technical timeout. Characteristics of a hit: the ball may touch any part of the body, but must be hit, not caught or thrown. During a hit, a player may only make contact with the ball 1 time. When receiving a ball from a hit that is not hard-driven, the ball must be contacted cleanly. If a player receives the ball open-handed, the contact of each hand with the ball must be exactly simultaneous. In practice, this means that serves are never received open-handed. When receiving an opponent's hard-driven attack, a double contact and/or a slight lift of the ball is allowed. In particular, in defensive action of a hard-driven ball, the ball can be held momentarily overhand with the fingers, when employing an overhand pass as the second of 3 team touches. The standard for a double contact fault is more lenient than when receiving or attacking, though still much stricter than in indoor volleyball. The standard for a lift fault during an overhand pass is less strict than in indoor games. It is legal to allow the ball to come to rest for a small period of time. Attack hits using an open-handed tip or dink, directing the ball with the fingers, are illegal, as are attack hits using an overhand pass to direct the ball on a trajectory not perpendicular to the line of the shoulders. These differences between the rules of indoor volleyball and beach volleyball strongly affect tactics and techniques. Block signals. Beach volleyball players use hand signals to indicate the type of block they intend to make. Block signals are made behind the back to hide them from the opposing team. They are usually given with both hands by the serving player's partner prior to the serve, with each hand referring to the type of block that should be put up against an attack from the corresponding opponent. A player may also wiggle or flash one block signal to indicate which opponent to serve to. If the server is the designated blocker, he or she may run up to the net to block after serving. Otherwise, the signaling player will perform the block. Block signals may also be given during a rally while the opposing team is preparing their attack. Common block signals. Closed fist. No block should be attempted for the opponent on that side of the court, also known as pull-off. One finger. The blocker should block an opponent's fine attack or a ball hit toward the nearest sideline. 2 fingers. The blocker should block an opponent's angle attack or a ball hit diagonally from the net and across the court. Open hand. The blocker should block ball, deciding how to block based upon the opposing team's set and the hitter's approach and arm swing technique. Note: in Europe, closed fist and open hand signals have the opposite meaning of blocking. If the partner is showing the closed fist, the blocker should block ball, and open hand means that the blocker should pull off the net. Governing bodies. The primary international governing body for beach volleyball is the Fédération Internationale de Volleyball. The regional governing bodies are Asia, Asian Volleyball Confederation; Africa, Confédération Africaine de Volleyball; Europe, European Volleyball Confederation; North and Central America, North, Central America and Caribbean Volleyball Confederation; South America, Confederación Sudamericana de Voleibol. In the United States, USA Volleyball is the governing body for beach volleyball, as well as indoor volleyball. NCAA beach volleyball. In the 2010-11 academic year, the NCAA began sponsoring beach volleyball, which it initially called sand volleyball, as an emerging women's sport. Initially, it was sponsored only for Division II, with Division I added the following academic year. NCAA competition follows standard beach volleyball rules, with competitions involving 5 doubles teams from each participating school. Beach volleyball became a fully sanctioned NCAA championship sport in the 2015-16 school year, following votes by leaders of all 3 NCAA divisions to launch a single all-divisions national championship. At the end of June 2015, the NCAA dropped the name of sand volleyball in favor of the more usual beach volleyball. Uniform controversy. In 1999, the FIVB standardized beach volleyball uniforms, with the swimsuit becoming the required uniform both for men and women. This drew the ire of some athletes. According to FIVB rules, female beach volleyball players have the option of playing in shorts or a one-piece swimsuit. Most players, however, prefer the two-piece bikini. Competitors such as Natalie Cook and Holly McPeak have confirmed the FIVB's claims that the uniforms are practical for a sport played on sand during the heat of summer. But British Olympian Denise Johns claimed that the regulation uniform is intended to be sexy and to draw attention. During the 2004 Summer Olympic Games, a study was conducted on the camera angles during the beach volleyball games. 20% of the camera angles were focused on the chest area and 17% of the angles were focused on the buttock area. The study concludes that this implies the look of the players is having a greater impact on fans than their actual athleticism. Some conservative cultures have expressed moral objections to the swimsuit as a uniform. At the 2007 South Pacific Games, rules were adjusted to require less revealing shorts and cropped sports tops. At the 2006 Asian Games, only one Muslim country fielded a team in the women's competition amid concerns the uniform was inappropriate. In early 2012, the International Volleyball Federation announced it would allow shorts above the knee and sleeve tops at the London 2012 Olympics. Richard Baker, the federation's spokesman, said that many of these countries have religious and cultural requirements, so the uniform needed to be more flexible. And in fact, the weather was so cold for the evening games at London 2012 that the players sometimes had to wear shirts and leggings. Lifestyle and culture. Beach volleyball culture includes the people, language, fashion, and life surrounding the sport of modern beach volleyball. With its origins in Hawaii and California, beach volleyball is strongly associated with a casual, beach-centric lifestyle. As it developed nearly in parallel with modern surfing, beach volleyball culture shares some similarities with surf culture. The beach bum archetype is one such example. Fashion often extends from the clothing worn during play, like the bikini aboard shorts. And much like surfers, beach volleyball players are at the mercy of the weather. Patterns of play often develop based on weather conditions like sun and wind. Nudist, naturist volleyball. Nudists were early adopters of the game. Records of regular games in clubs can be found as early as the 1920s. Given the outdoor nature of nudism, naturism, a beach version of volleyball was naturally adopted. By the 1960s, a volleyball court could be found in almost all nudist, naturist clubs. A large nude volleyball tournament has been held each fall since 1971 at Whitethorn Lodge in western Pennsylvania, and several smaller tournaments occur each year throughout North America. Common injuries. The most common injuries in beach volleyball are knee, ankle and finger injuries. Pain due to overuse of the knee, lower back, and especially shoulder is common as well. Many players use kinesiology tape. Interest in this tape has surged after American beach volleyball player and gold medalist Kerry Walsh wore it at the 2008 Beijing Olympics.